Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are you guys doing? I am happy to be back, at least for this week. I've had kind of a health scare the past couple weeks, and I wasn't able to really do anything for the NASCAR picks, or really anything in my own life for that matter, so I do apologize for that. Hopefully we'll be back on track. If not, I'll let you know, and I'll have some opinions for Daytona at the end of this video, just in case I don't get one out before that. But I thought I'd try and at least make a Sunday video for this weekend. I'm still not feeling that great. I've had some blood drawn and some testing done, and I'm still waiting for the results on that. I just haven't been feeling that well. So with that said, let's get into the Overtons 400 at Chicagoland Speedway for July 1st. This should be coming out on June 30th, the night before. If you guys have any questions or anything, I'll be able to probably answer them tomorrow. Like I said, guys, I just apologize for not putting out earlier videos. I had so much time and effort going into making this something that I want to do every week, and then I just had this come up and I haven't been able to do it. Either way, we'll try and go from there. There is rain in the forecast, just in case you guys don't know. And because of that, NASCAR moved up the start time race at Chicagoland Speedway. It was moved from 2:46 Eastern to 2:32 p.m. Eastern, which, I mean, whatever, 15 minutes ain't doing a whole lot of crap. But there is a 80% chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon, so we shall see what happens. Chicagoland does have lights, so there is a possibility that we can go back green later in the night, but just have that in the back of your mind. Just know that something can come up and it can change all that. Now let's get right into my picks and everything, or not my picks, but my opinions and everyone, as usual, starting from the rear. Timmy Hill, starting 39th, was 37th fastest in the first practice, 37th fastest in the second practice. Timmy Hill Timmy Hill, I just don't see anything from Timmy Hill. If he finishes 37th, I mean, I'm still not going to pick him or anything. I don't see him finishing inside of the top 30 unless there's a gigantic wreck that takes out a crap load of guys. But I don't like Timmy Hill. I don't like Reed Sorensen either, 35th fastest in first practice. He wasn't even ranked at the end of the second practice, so I'm totally not going to use Reed Sorensen. I like the next couple guys here. I like Corey LaJoie a lot. He was 34th fastest in first practice and 32nd fastest in the second practice. And these guys aren't rated for long runs in either of these practices, but Corey LaJoie is starting 37th, and Corey has actually finished pretty decent. Let me just look at his previous finishes right fast. Not Chicagoland, but these last finishes. He didn't run Sonoma. He ran Michigan, finished 27th, 26th at Charlotte, and 24th at Kansas. Tracks that are close enough similar with Chicagoland. So I really like Corey LaJoie in this situation. I think he can very easily get at least all the way up to 33rd. I think I honestly believe Corey LaJoie will get inside a top 30. If I'm wrong on that, I'm willing to take it. And also, that's another thing, guys, like these picks and everything, let's just be honest here. We are gambling at this point. Let's be honest with ourselves. And anytime I tell you, or anytime anyone on any video tells you who they think is going to do well, that's who they think is going to do well before any type of activity on the racetrack in the actual race. These guys can be washed up in wrecks. They can have a bad time on pit road. Some shit can happen. I hate it whenever people make picks on any video and then people come back a day later, oh, I can't believe you told me to play Ty Dillon and the son of a bitch finished dead last. He wrecked. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. This happened at Michigan when David Reagan got wrecked. I had David Reagan in a couple lineups. He got wrecked, finished dead last night. Some guys come over and be like, oh, well, I told you Ty Dillon was the better choice. David Reagan sucks. No, Bubba Wallace took David Reagan out at Michigan. David Reagan was in a great position. And when anybody makes picks, they're expecting those guys to do what they're expecting. You know, that's why we wouldn't be making these picks. If I didn't think Corey LaJoie wouldn't get a top 30 just because he's kind of proven that he can get a top 30 last 3 races at mile and a half and a 2 mile. If you look at Michigan as well, he does have 38th place at Dover, but he had a mechanical failure there. But I like Corey LaJoie. I think he's really cheap. You can really do a lot with him at $4,900. I think you got to consider maybe throwing him in there. Same with Landon Castle. Landon Castle is just a bit more expensive, and actually Corey LaJoie had faster times than Landon Castle in each of these practices. Landon Castle was 36th fastest in the first practice and 33rd fastest in the second practice. I like Corey LaJoie over Landon Castle. Kyle Weatherman, 38th fastest first practice, 34th fastest second practice, and starting 35th. I don't like him. I'd rather use the 2 guys before him. Greg Galding's interesting, 33rd quickest first practice, 35th quickest second practice, starting 33rd. I like Corey LaJoie and Landon Castle a lot more than them. Matt DeBetta Burrito. Interesting when you look at his times. He's starting 32nd, 29th fastest first practice, 29th fastest second practice, 19th fastest long run speed at the end of second practice. But if you look at his last finishes, he has just had a crappy ride. Other than a 17th place at Sonoma, the last mile and a half, or the last races that kind of looked like this was, well, Michigan doesn't really look at this, but he has a 36th place at Michigan, a 37th at Pocono, and a 37th at Charlotte. Then he has a 22nd at Kansas and a 29th at Dover. I think he's a bit of a hit and miss, and to just take the risk of him finishing 25th or 22nd or 37th or 36th, I just don't like that. I'd rather go with Corey LaJoie or Landon Castle back down there than Matt DeBetta, so I won't be choosing him. Ross Chastain. I'm just not feeling it this week. He didn't put a lap down in second practice. I'm not really sure why. I wasn't able to really watch practice that much this week, so I'm just going off of the times and what they're showing on the spreadsheet. So I can't really inform anyone on that. But Ross Chastain, he didn't run Sonoma, but Michigan 26th, 29th at Pocono, 24th at Charlotte, and 29th or 26th at Kansas. I'd really go with the guy above him, and that's Michael McDowell, I think. I think a lot of people are going to go to McDowell, and I think a lot of people are going to be scared to go to Corey LaJoie. So I think a McDowell and LaJoie line up with those two. I mean, that just gives you an amazing amount of salary to do whatever the heck you want. So I'm probably going to be going with that. And I'm only going to do one lineup this week. Normally I throw 5 or 6 lineups out there in the $9, $8 ones. So I'm usually putting close to $40 to $50 a week on NASCAR, and my return on investment is pretty darn good there. But I'm gonna put a lot more money in Daytona this next week. I love super speedways. I swear to God, that's where I make most of my money on the NASCAR season. I don't know what it is about super speedways and how I pick those drivers, but I'm way luckier on that than anything else. So I'm transferring a lot of my entries that I would use this week to Charlotte to Daytona next week. So just keep that in mind. I'm running one lineup today, and I pretty much told you that I'm probably going to use LaJoie and McDowell in my lineup. So that might change. I might see something that I like. I might see something that I don't, but I like those 2 guys there. And McDowell, if you need me to tell you, his finishes 21st at Sonoma don't really matter here, but 25th at Michigan, 21st at Pocono, 21st at Pocono, and 18th at Charlotte, 20th at Kansas, and a 22nd at Dover. Sorry, my throat is drying out like crazy. 28th fastest first practice, 27th fastest second practice, 25th fastest long run speed, and he's starting 30th. Michael McDowell's a lock-in for me. Sorry if you can hear me taking a drink there. Yet again, every damn week someone's like, Ty Dillon's dirt fucking cheap. Choose Ty Dillon. Whatever, I'm going to McDowell. You can save the 400 on Ty Dillon if you want. I'm tired. A lot of people choose Dillon every freaking week. And I like trying to pick pivots, and I think McDowell and LaJoie is a good pivot off at Dillon. So I'm just not looking at Dillon, but I will tell you what he's doing. 24th practice, 24th fastest first practice, 13th fastest second practice, and he's starting 29th. Take that with a grain of salt. I think something can happen. I think he's going to be really over-owned, so I'm going to pivot off of him. Casey Kane, 31st fastest first, 31st. Oh my God, I can't talk. Casey Kane, 31st first practice, 19th second fastest, and 10th fastest long run speed. But I'd rather get guys starting behind. I just really would. I don't think Casey Kane has the car to really get a top 20 finish here. And I think there's better guys behind him that you can get, so I'm going to probably fade Casey Kane. Not too big into him. David Reagan, what am I going on right now? I'm on 9 minutes. I'm trying to get this done rather quick, so I'm not wasting your time, guys, or anything of that nature. David Reagan starting 27th, 30th fastest first practice, 28th fastest second practice, 22nd fastest long run speed. Not going to touch Reagan. I'm not going to be touching Bubba Wallace either, despite that his speed is showing that he has a way faster car than how he qualified. 21st fastest first practice, 15th fastest second practice, 17th fastest long run speed. Bubba Wallace starting 26 with those numbers. Darn good pick there, or darn good look there at least. I forgot where he finished at Sonoma, but he finished 19th at Michigan, 38th at Pocono, Ronicop, that I always say, Charlotte 16th, Kansas 23rd, and Dover 25th. I just don't like Bubba Wallace. I think a lot of people are going to go on to him, like they did at, they kind of got burned on him at Sonoma, but I think a lot of people are going to go back to Bubba. So we'll try and get off of him. And then Trevor Bayne starting 25th, 17th fastest first practice, 26th fastest second practice. I think he's going to finish 24th. I'm not too big into Trevor Bayne. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., guy who's been running a bit good. He's been getting inside of the top 20 these other times, but I don't think he shows the speed to really do that this week with a lot of fast guys back here. 27th first 27th first practice, 22nd second practice, 18th at Sonoma. I'm just going to stop including Sonoma when I go back at these. Michigan 29th, and then a 14th at Onacop, 10th at Charlotte, Kansas 11th, and Dover 15th. Stenhouse could be very popular this week. Then you got Chris Buescher, 20th fastest first practice, 11th fastest second practice, 23rd fastest long run speed, starting 23rd. I think he has a chance to have a top 20 car, and I'm not going to use Buescher, but I have a hell of a lot more faith in him getting a top 25 than Kane or Trevor Bayne or Ricky Stenhouse. I like Chris Buescher a lot. Jimmy Johnson, 22nd fastest, second fastest first practice, 30th fastest second practice. I've been on the Jimmy Johnson bandwagon for quite a few weeks now. I've been using him in my lineups, but I'm not going to be using him this week. Just don't like the numbers that I'm seeing. Going to be fading him, despite the fact that he has a 20th at Michigan, 8th at Pocono, 5th at Charlotte, 19th at Kansas, and 9th at Dover. Just not feeling it on Jimmy Johnson this week. AJ Allmendinger, 26th fastest first practice, 30th fastest second practice, 26th fastest long run speed. Not too crazy in AJ Allmendinger. Kyle Larson, I'm going to try and fit him into every lineup. Well, every lineup. I'm using one lineup. I'm going to try and fit Larson in there just because he has the speed that just looks too damn good for him to be starting 21st. I think Larson will be very highly owned. I think he'll be darn close to 40%. But I think you need that 40% ownership. I think he's going to be up there, and I think he's going to finish really good because if you look at his previous races here, at Charlotte 17th, or the Charlotte 2017, 16 and 15th is 5th, 18th, and 7th. He's starting 21st. That's better than what he's been. And looking at his previous races at Michigan, 28th there, but a second place at Pocono, 7th at Charlotte, 4th at Kansas. I like Larson here in this situation. I like Newman too, but I probably won't be using him in the one lineup that I'm running. He's been finishing outside the top 20 the other races, but this might be one of the races where he can actually make you points. If you're really stuck at 7,300 and you're choosing between Dillon and Busch, you might want to go there with Newman, but just use him with a grain of salt. Kyle Busch, I'd rather go with Kyle Larson. Hell, Larson's cheaper, and he looks like he has a better car from the times, even though Kyle Busch had. I might throw Busch in there too. And then you got Truex up there as well. You got a lot of tough guys. I mean, you need some big studs. I think you can need at least 2 big studs to win the GPP. But going back to Kyle Busch, 18th fastest first practice, 8th fastest second practice, 15th fastest long run speed. Previous races at Chicagoland, 15th, 8th, and 9th the last 3 years, and then his last 3 finishes on 2.5, 5 or 2.5, and mile and a half is fourth, third, and first. Kyle Busch is a darn good play if you can fit him in there. Alex Bowman, I'm not too big into him. He was third fastest first practice, but 21st fastest second practice, and 21st fastest in long run speed at the end of the second practice. And he's starting 17th. I've been liking Bowman this year, but I'm just not going to be using him here. I'm not going to be using Austin Dillon either. 22nd fastest first practice, 20th fastest second practice, 24th fastest long run speed. Just not seeing it out of the 3-car. Jay McMurray, I like what I'm seeing here with him. He's got a 10th place, 10th fastest first practice, 7th fastest second practice, 2nd fastest long run speed. Chip Ganassi's car has been really good this year, been doing darn good, and where he's finishing, I think he can gain at least 4 positions there. Logano, same here, 9th fastest first practice, 3rd fastest second practice, and 14th fastest long run speed. Starting 14th, I think Logano easily has a top 10 finish. Then you got Kevin Harvick, another guy that's going to be a big stud, but I think you can save the Harvick money and go with Larson or Kyle Busch. If you got to choose between one of these 3 guys, go with those other guys. Goes with the first guys that I said, and maybe fade Harvick. But 11th fastest first practice, 6th fastest second practice, and first long run speed, that's going to be really important. He might lead some laps. I think he will lead some laps. I think he will get up there, but I don't think he's going to win. And then you got a damn rain shortened race, or rain could play a factor, so you don't know how the fuck this is going to go, but Harvick's in a darn good situation. I don't like Martin Truex here, 13th fastest, or starting 12th, 19th fastest first practice, 2nd fastest second practice, and 11th fastest long run speed. If I got to choose between Harvick and Truex, I'm going with Harvick. Daniel Suarez just starting up too high for me to be comfortable with, although he did race here last year and get a 12th place finish, and he's starting 11th. I just don't see anything about Suarez, but he was 5th fastest in first practice, 18th fastest second practice, and 16th fastest long run speed. I don't like him. I don't like Eric Jones or William Byron, the 2 guys starting in front of him, William Byron and Eric Jones, 23rd and 25th first practice respectively, and then 17th for Byron and a 9th for Eric in second practice. Byron was 6th fastest long run speed, and Eric Jones was 18th fastest long run speed at the end of the second practice. I just don't like him. I don't think anyone's going to be really fitting in Keselowski, and I understand why, just because you got some bigger studs in the back. 13th fastest first practice, the fastest car in second practice, and 12th fastest long run speed. Maybe if you want to have a contrarian pick with Keselowski, you can throw him in there. Might be something I look at, might be something that I'm not. I think Keselowski will finish 9th or 8th. I don't see him winning. I don't see him really losing anything. Then you got Eric Almirola. I think he's just not in play this week. I don't think he's going to finish any higher than where he's starting. I think he has a top 10 car. 16th fastest first practice, 5th fastest second practice, and 7th quickest long run speed. Starting 7th, just don't see it. Same with Boyer, just not seeing it. 14th fastest first practice, 10th fastest second practice, and 5th fastest long run speed. Not liking Boyer, not liking Kurt Busch either, at least for fantasy's perspective. I love Stewart-Haas Racing. Tony Stewart was my driver, and he was an idol of mine growing up as a kid, but I'm just not liking him this week in a fantasy aspect. I'm fading at least those 3 from SHR. Denny Hamlin, not too big into him. 7th fastest first practice, 12th fastest second practice, and 4th fastest long run speed. Sorry if my voice is fading or anything of that nature, guys. I'm trying to push through this for you because I know you guys at least like hearing my opinion, but I'm not going to be using Hamlin. I don't like Chase Elliott either. 4th fastest first practice, and I think he just had a really good qualifying car, because 23rd fastest in second practice is just something I'm not liking there. Ryan Blaney, first in the first practice, 14th fastest in the second practice, 9th fastest long run speed. You're starting up there, not going to finish second. He's going to at least finish maybe 10th or 8th. Don't like Ryan Blaney, and then I don't know why the fuck you'd even pick Menard in this situation. There's no way in hell he's going to lead more than 20 laps. Don't like Menard here. I could be wrong on that, but I'm going to be going with bigger studs, so I just don't like Paul Menard in that. So, going through it again real fast, I like Corey LaJoie. I like Landon Castle. I like Michael McDowell. I like Casey Kane. I like Chris Buescher, at least not all in play-wise, but I just like them as the driver in these situations. You know, I'm not telling you that you need to pick all these guys. I'm just saying people that stand out to me that I like. I like Kyle Larson. I like Newman. I like Kyle Busch. I like Jay McMurray. I like Logano. I like Harvick. I like Keselowski. those are the guys that I'm really liking. Obviously, what was that? Maybe 9 guys, 10 guys, something along those lines. I gave you something to start with the lineup with. It's gonna be, I don't know, it's gonna be a tough one because you're gonna have some guys going for pure point differential, and then you're gonna have other guys going for hog points. So we'll just see how this goes tomorrow. But though that's my opinion. Sorry that I've been under the weather, guys. I'm trying to do my best and at least get this one out there for you. So I hope you guys do well. And oh, look at that, 19 minutes 40 seconds on at least this recording. It's probably about 20 minutes on the video. And then real quick, my input on Daytona. As I said in the beginning, Daytona and Talladega have been my most profitable racetracks, and I've actually lost the most amount of money on damn Daytona. Not by them wrecking early, but remember that Coca-Cola 600 a couple years back? I think it was maybe 13 or 14. I had Kurt Busch, and I think someone, I don't know who it was, maybe Hamlin or something, but someone spun Kurt Busch coming to the checkered, and Kurt was running like in fourth or some dumb shit like that, and I was winning like $20,000 right there, and all I needed was Kurt Busch to finish fourth, and the son of a bitch wrecked, and he lost like 20 positions. So, oh man, I was so close to that payday, but live and learn. I've been here and there with super speedways since then, and I love super speedways for fantasy perspective. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I hate them, but man, I love super speedways. And there's 2 things you can do. You can have one guy that you think's going to lead all the laps, or at least be up in the front, and then just take everyone from the back, or you can take guys that you think are just going to straight up finish up in the front regardless of where they start. You can take a bunch of start and park, or at least back runners that you would never take, but since it's Talladega, they're going to stay in it and run it. I think those are the 3 best strategies for super speedways. So that's my opinion. If I can't get Daytona, oh man, I'm sorry. Oh man, if I can't get a Daytona video out, and that's my hints. That's my strategy tip. But I hope all you guys do well fantasy-wise on the race tomorrow. I wish you guys all the best. Hopefully I'll be back and feeling 100% again. If not, I'll post more on Twitter, or at least try and answer you guys' questions more often. But thanks for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. If you want to donate to the show, or at least help me out in any form or fashion, my PayPal will be in the description below. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you guys on the slates. Best of luck.